different language or add another language. So we offer Chinese, French, German, Italian, Japanese, Latin, Spanish, and of course, English language learners class. This class is for students who are learning the English language, a little bit different than the other language courses, which I will refer to at the end of the presentation. Okay? So the way you were recommended, I looked at your exam score. I looked at the number of years you've been studying a language. I looked at your current grade. And you were either placed in levels 1-2, 1-2A, which is first year of a language, minimal experience, 3-4, 3-4A, which is 2-3 years of an experience in a language, and 5-6A. That's if you have 3 or more years of a language. So you might be in that level, okay? And these are just the proficiency levels. If you are starting, you'll be at a novice level. If you have a little bit more years, you'll probably be novice mid to novice high. Many of our freshmen usually come in at a novice high level, which can be either 3-4A or a 5-6A level. Okay. So what type of experiences will you have in our language classes? Well, this weekend you can come and check Japan Fest. That's part of the Japanese program. But there's always, in any of the other languages, we have exchanges and travel programs. We have AP classes and the AP exam experience as well. We have different clubs in the languages. We also have the biliteracy seal. And what that means is the opportunity for you to prove that you are bilingual and officially be recognized by the state of Illinois. So by your junior or senior year, if you pass certain exams that the state requires, we can officially recognize you as being bilingual in language other than English. And that would go on your transcripts and on your diploma. And it also means that several Illinois public colleges may be giving you credit for having that seal. And finally, we have the home language survey. So the state of Illinois requires that every new student in the district fill out a home language survey. And it depends on how you answer the questions. It means if I have to screen you to determine whether you need English as a second language, if you need those services. And one of the questions is, does anyone in your household speak another language? And if you answer yes, then I will be contacting you to come in and see if you qualify for those services. So expect that when you turn in all of your paperwork. Okay? If you have any questions at all, you can contact me at my email, csagood@oprfhs.org. If for some reason the recommendation did not print, contact me. I'll look it up and I'll let you know where you're supposed to be. Okay? So thank you. Now we have Mr. Clay Reagan from PE.
Thank you. As Claudia said, my name is Clay Reagan, and I am the division head for PE, health, and driver education. First off, thanks for coming out. I know the night's not a wonderful night, but we appreciate you being here. A couple things to know. Physical education is required at OPRF for 8 semesters, and that is a graduation requirement. Driver's education and health may be substituted for your physical education. So freshman year, you will take a semester of PE and a semester of health. Sophomore year, you have the opportunity to take a semester of driver's ed and a semester of physical education. Driver's education is also offered as a summer school course. I will tell you that if you take driver's ed in the summer, right, you will then have to take 2 semesters of PE sophomore year. So you always have to be in physical education unless you are substituting it during the school year for health or driver education. Okay. Health will be taken during the school year only, and that will be automatically scheduled into the freshman curriculum. Here's what a freshman year looks like. A freshman will take 1 semester of physical education. That is life fitness, which is introduction to fitness, introduction to movement and dance, and swimming. You'll get the opportunity to tour our scenic pools and see how those work out for you. Freshman health, we cover a wide array of topics, from mental health to disease to reproduction to nutrition, substance abuse, everything. That's your freshman year. Sophomore year is probably what you're most interested in, and that's driver education. Keep in mind that in order to take driver's education, you have to pass 8 classes prior to that experience. So if you pass every class freshman year, you're going to be good to go. Okay, but keep that in mind. Sophomore year, you'll take a semester of PE. You'll experience our step back or our self-defense program, swimming again, and then a games unit, a games program. Driver's education may be taken as during your sophomore year or the summer before or any time thereafter. You must be 15 and have passed 8 classes to enroll. So if you are a freshman who happens to be 15 your second semester, you will not have passed enough classes, so you will have to wait until summer school or first semester sophomore year. Okay, that's what I got for you. If you got any questions, please feel free to contact me. I'm more than happy to answer any questions you have. If not, we're hoping that everyone else will go as quick as we did, and you'll be home soon. Have a great night. Thank you. Thank you.
Sorry for the delay. All right, my name is Christina McKittrick. I am the Science Division Head. Here's my email, phone number. If you have any questions, feel free to contact me. So, in regards to science, first I'd like to talk about graduation requirements. Graduation requirements are 2 years of lab science. So lab science counts as like biology, chemistry, physics classes. We also require 1 semester or 1 credit of applied technology and applied art, which would be any of our engineering classes, automotive, woodworking, all of those. Now, most public universities require 3 years of lab science, so even though it's not a graduation requirement, we encourage students to take 3 years of lab science. So like I said, biochemistry, physics. If you're interested in a career in science or a field in science when you get to college or university, you should plan on 4+ years of science, and as I go through the presentation, you'll see how there's opportunities to get more than 4 years in your 4 years. We also, if students are interested in engineering, we have multiple engineering courses. It's called Project Lead the Way, and I'll talk about that in a little bit. All of our science courses are linked to the Next Generation Science Standards. These are the 7 main components of the Next Generation Science Standards, and the one that we are really trying to focus on as a school and as a science division is number 6, engaging in argument with evidence. So this idea that if you gather data in a lab or we give data to you, can you construct a well thought out argument that is actually backed up by evidence and backed up by facts, which is a great life skill to have, not just in a science classroom. Okay, options for 9th grade science. If you are reading at grade level or your math is at grade level, the 2 options we would suggest are biology or models of physics. If you get into biology, it follows the progression biology, chemistry, physics. Biology is going to focus on vocabulary and reading. It's very hands-on, but there are going to be teacher lectures at some point, so taking notes, listening to the teacher. Models of physics, on the other hand, follows the progression. Models of physics, models of chemistry, models of biology. This is going to be more algebra-based, so I suggest students have a little bit more strength in math if they're going to get into the models of physics class. In addition, this class, also being very hands-on, is based in class discussion. So if you're taking the models class, you have to be able to talk in small groups and talk as a classroom as a whole. So more student discussion, not teacher lecture. If you are reading below grade level or your math is below grade level, we require you to take what's called Biology E. Biology follows the same progression of biology, chemistry, physics, but the emphasis is on accelerating your learning in areas such as reading, writing, and executive functioning, which is how to kind of do school, stay organized, all of that. This course is a smaller class size, and it's usually co-taught, meaning there's 2 teachers in the classroom, so it allows for more one-on-one teacher-to-student time. And the goal there, like I said, is to accelerate your learning to get you up to grade level in reading and in math. If you are reading above grade level, or your math is above grade level, the opportunities for enrichment are Biology A, which is our honors biology class, and once again, models of physics. The difference between honors biology and the biology I already talked about is that honors biology is going to have more work and more independent work. So students are going to have to do more stuff outside of class and not just in class, and they have to earn a B overall to get their honors credit. Models of physics, what I didn't mention before, it's the same course I already talked about, but models of physics, you have the ability to earn honors credit. So if you take biology, you have to decide at the beginning of the year, are you going to take college prep, just regular biology, or are you going to take honors biology? In models of physics, everyone starts out in models of physics. If you get a high enough grade on your summative assessments, tests, quizzes, projects, which is a B or above, and if you do well enough on your year-long research project that everyone has to do no matter what, you will earn honors credit. So the difference is kind of deciding right away which level you're going to be in, or being in models where you have the ability to, anyone in the class can earn that honors distinguished mark on their GPA. The one thing I like to point out, sorry this is a little blurry and kind of hard to read, is from our course catalog. The point is, it doesn't matter where you start, every single pathway leads to the exact same box at the bottom, which means that when you get to your 4th, 5th, 6th year in science, the opportunities are endless. You can get into any of our AP classes, you can get any of our elective classes. It doesn't matter where you start, we all end up in the same bucket. So what that kind of really means is you have to find the best fit for you and how you learn, what's going to challenge you and help you excel at the same time. Some pathways for STEM opportunities. One of them is, like I already mentioned, our engineering classes, Project Lead the Way. If you are interested in engineering, you can take this at the same time as a lab science. A lot of students that get into our freshman class, Intro to Engineering and Design, a lot of them also take models of physics at the same time. And after you take that intro class, the door is open for all these other engineering classes. In addition, if you're interested in manufacturing or architecture, you might want to start with Intro to Woodworking. Same thing, the door opens, you can take all these other engineering classes after the fact. We've also found a lot of people wanting to get more into the healthcare career pathway, so we suggest students take our Health Careers and Medical Terminology course. That's first semester, second semester is patient care. Both of these will earn you Triton credit, which means you're not only getting high school credit, but you're getting college credit at the same time. And we suggest following that up with Fundamentals of Nursing. Fundamentals of Nursing is a class where you'll go to class 4 days a week, and one of the days you'll be at clinicals in a nursing home practicing your nursing skills. And at the end of it, you can sign up to take the Illinois Certified Nursing Assistant exam, your CNA exam, which allows you to a degree to work in the field of nursing. So we had students that have taken it as juniors, and in their senior year, they're like going to classes, and then they're able to work at night or work on the weekends in the nursing career field already. Finally, extracurriculars. We have lots of clubs and activities. They have varying levels of commitment. Most of them meet after school. And the last thing I like to mention is the science field courses. The science field courses are a chance to travel abroad and earn a year's worth of elective science credits. So it's not towards graduation requirement, but it's kind of like that bonus extra. How the summer courses work is you will do half of the course second semester. I run a lot of these. I usually have students meet on Sunday nights, usually twice a month for about an hour and a half. They learn about where we're going, what we're doing, the culture, the science, all that. And then in the summer, we travel for anywhere from 10 days to 2 weeks to whatever location we have picked for that class. Costa Rica is currently running this summer. It will not run next summer. The options next summer are Tanzania, the United Kingdom, the Florida Keys, and Yellowstone. So if you're interested in these, freshmen are eligible. You know, at the end of your freshman year, going into sophomore year, you're eligible to take any of the field courses, or you could wait. I just would like to point out, not every trip runs every summer, so keep that in mind. If there's one you really, really, really want to do, it might run, it might not run in the future. If you have any questions, like I said, contact me, let me know. Thank you for letting me kind of explain these science options to you tonight.
Hello, I'm Sarah Roothouse. I'm the Division Head of Fine and Applied Arts. And you're going to kind of hear this speed dating speech from many people, so appreciate your patience. The Fine and Applied Arts are visual arts, music, theater and broadcasting, which includes a film program, as well as business education and family consumer science. And we have been living by this vision statement for the past eight years, and it's gone pretty well for us. We're trying to develop students academically, artistically, and socially. And I would like to talk a little bit about that social aspect. We find that kids sort of find their home in our programs, and they have lunch together and end up with these high school long friendships, and they depend on each other, they help each other with their homework during rehearsals. It's really something of a beautiful thing to see. So, but what we also do is try to open doors to any interests or passions or talents that your students have. And at Oak Park, it's really not a dream. We have someone that's on Broadway right now as we speak. We have many professional musicians that have graduated from here, as well as music educators. We also have professional artists and art teachers that come out of these programs. We're always talking about hands-on project-based courses. It's a very student-centered classroom, and we try to develop student success through student ownership through a lot of diverse course offerings. And I'm going to show you what's offered for freshmen, but there's many courses that follow that. And it is unique. The learning spaces are unique. They're very technologically rich, and a lot of passionate teachers. And this is just some of the student work that we'd like to share. So in music, these are the classes that any freshman can take. In music, we always have at least one non-audition class for freshmen coming in, and really any student going through the system all 4 years. You can always be in a performing arts group without having to audition. You can audition up to other groups. We also have class Guitar 1 and 2 that we've added songwriting to this year to see how kids like that. Sound production, as well as therapeutic choir or adaptive choir that runs every other year. In the visual arts, the main courses for freshmen are Art Foundations, Fundamentals of Photo 1, and History of Film. But these are semester-driven classes, so kids can take another class like their second semester. So after Art Foundations, they might take drawing, painting, printmaking. Anything you are interested in, we probably have here. And the options after Photo 1 are obvious. So the capstone sequence follows after those entry-level classes. In theater and broadcasting, these are the classes for freshmen. Acting 1, which can be followed by Acting 2. Musical theater, freshmen can take that right off the bat. We have therapeutic adaptive theater every other year. And then these film classes, creative film, theater tech and design, with a lot of freshmen that are coming in with crew experience and interested in that. Then the applied arts. So I have business education and family consumer science in my division as well. And the courses in white are some of the classes that freshmen can take. The other ones in black and orange would follow. But we do also like to mention that we have an incubator program here in the business department. So sophomore, junior, senior, if you're interested in developing your own startup, you can do that in this really interactive program, and you can follow that with actually actually launching a business. In family and consumer science, we've done a lot of work developing the culinary sequence and the early childhood sequence. You can get dual credit for those classes at Triton as well. And those are the courses that you see there for freshmen. While we talk about all these courses, really, to meet the teachers and to see the spaces is really important. So I really look forward to meeting you all again next Tuesday night when you get to do that. You get to meet the teachers, they're very passionate, they really care about what they do, and they want to see your students be successful. So I'll look forward to seeing you next Tuesday and working with you the next few years. Here's Helen Gallagher in English.
Good evening, welcome. I'll shortly be joined by Amy Hill, who is the History Division Head. I'm Helen Gallagher from the English Division, and we are here this evening to talk to you about two of the required curriculums for grade 9 students. And we invite you into a partnership in making some important decisions this evening. And as you return on February 5th and meet your student's counselor and learn about so many of the opportunities here, we want you to see this as a partnership. We know some things about your student, but certainly you know a whole lot more, and it's important that you use that knowledge as you think about some of the decisions for your student's schedule. The information that we have includes things like the PSAT scores, which you received this evening, and other data or quantitative information. It tells a story about your student, but it doesn't tell the whole story.
Hi, I'm Amy Hill, I'm the History Division Head, and the other part of the story that matters in the decisions you're going to make about courses in the freshman year include some of these items that are, sort of pose them as questions, okay? So to what extent is your child motivated to work independently? To what extent is your child passionate about a given subject? To what extent are extracurricular activities going to factor into the freshman year? Because these are all important parts of the entire picture that we want you all to have in mind as you're making the decisions about these individual parts of the picture. It needs to fit together in such a way that your child has a fabulous freshman year. We want that more than anything for every single student who's coming in to our building. And so a little bit more information about your specific courses for English and history. If your child's test scores reliably show reading at or above grade level, these courses are listed as options for the freshman year. English and World History A are honors courses. English and World History and the World Studies course, these are college prep level options. And we, to the extent that your child is reading at or above grade level, these options might work very well, especially as you consider those other factors such as interest and passion and persistence and grit and all that kind of good stuff.
For students who are approaching grade level, and we have what we would call a reading booster that is required for students who can use grade 9 and an individualized literacy program taught by adolescent literacy specialists, delivering a very targeted curriculum focusing on growth and achievement. And the idea that we have for this required literacy seminar curriculum is that students can grow as readers and then position themselves to access a lot of the rich curriculum beyond the freshman year. And so as you see, the Literacy Seminar 935 gives the student also the option of choosing the college prep English, the college prep history, or the College Prep World Studies, which we will talk a little bit more about in a few minutes. For those students who are coming into the freshman year needing to accelerate their reading growth, the program that we offer is World Studies Immersion. And this program concentrates a lot on improving the reading and writing skills of students, again, so that as they progress through high school, they're able to follow up on all of the things, all of the disciplines, all of the subjects that they're interested in, because they have the reading strengths and the reading skills buttoned down. And we do this with a very intensive team approach that includes the required English credit and history credit, along with a team of teachers working together to improve the reading skills.
In history, the options for those students who are reading at or above grade level include these two courses, and I want to take a moment just to tell you what's similar about them and then also to distinguish them a bit. So the world history approach is not a let's march through our textbook approach. It is a selective look at interesting, debatable questions that historians to this day continue to wrestle with. And we use the content as a way to help your kids develop really strong critical reading and really strong writing skills. So in both the 323, which is the college prep, and 325, which is the honors class, kids are going to have readings that will challenge them. In both classes, they'll have full-length essays that require textual support. And in both classes, there will be explicit instruction in reading and writing. But what differs about the two experiences is that the amount of instruction and the amount of in-class time is going to be greater in the college prep level, whereas the amount of independent outside of class work is going to be greater in the honors class.
For English, all freshmen are focusing on increasing their reading and writing skills by looking closely at texts, and perhaps the most important descriptor I can give you for students is about how many pages will they sit down and read independently without distraction. And we know that that's a big ask. But as in history, when we try to distinguish between the college prep and the honors courses, the difference is the amount of time spent outside of class reading independently and being quite motivated to increase the time that the student spends doing homework. I mean, I don't want to reduce it to that, it's more than that, but it's fair to say that as you listen this evening to history and English, to science, math, world languages, and make decisions about what will be in front of your student next year, this is why we are offering these options. The world studies, as we've talked about at the college prep level, is very appealing to students when they think about the fact that it's two required courses, the required world history and English, and instead of walking out at the end of the day with homework in English and homework in history, the student is walking out with assignments, projects, papers, tests that are integrated with two teachers working together. And for many students, the concentrated time on task during a double period is very appealing. It builds a lot of classroom community, and it gives a different way of accessing the literature and the history. In English, we have a 4-year curriculum. Students will take English every semester that they are enrolled at OPRF. One thing that it's, sitting here today, you might be hard to think about this, but we have a goal for all of our students that they access college-level English while they are high school students, either through our advanced placement courses, which begin in the junior year, or through the Triton dual credit, dual enrollment courses here. And I'm going to walk to the next presentation, but I look forward to seeing you on February 5th, and Amy will wrap up.
So everybody tonight, I hope everybody got their copy of the summer reading book. We You should be very excited, kids. I can see your smiles lighting up the room at the moment. How excited you are about this. It's an awesome book. Our freshman class this year, it was a huge hit with them. I think you'll find it a really engaging read, and you'll hear more about this from the English division as the start of the school year approaches. In history, the 4-year plan includes 2.5 required years. Both the world and the U.S. history courses are required, and then civics is a 1-semester requirement as well. Beyond that, we offer an amazing array, I'm biased for sure, an amazing array of elective options in the history division. So they include psychology, sociology, history of women's history, African American history, history of sports and resistance in America, hip-hop in American history. I barely scratched the surface, believe it or not. So we would really encourage you all to consider filling out your 4 years with history courses each semester, because we believe very strongly that these help to prepare you for civic engagement in your adult life. And with that said, I'm going to turn the mic over to Dr. Julie Fry of the Math Division.
Good evening. Well, you do get the cheap seats here, but the good news is this is your last partnership going. So I'm second to last. Dr. Julie Fry, the head of the math department. Yesterday's math classes, this is my 4th time saying this, so if I look like I'm a little punchy, it's because I'm a little punchy. Yesterday's math classes won't prepare you for tomorrow's jobs. So I put that quote in there to let everybody here know that tomorrow's jobs, we don't even know what they are yet. We don't know what they're going to look like. They haven't been created yet. The technology is moving at an exponential rate. It's hard to imagine what the future holds, like self-driving cars, right? So in order to inform us on how to best do that, we use the 8 mathematical practices as prescribed by the National Council of Teacher Mathematics. They're up here, but just to give you a short blurb, we're asking kids when they come into math classes to be creative, to investigate, to research, to collaborate, to come up with their own knowledge, to tell us what they need to know, and to find solutions to large, complicated problems. This is my extremely easy to read flow chart. Please memorize it. I'm testing you in 2 seconds. So just so you know, there's 2 things that I look at when I am trying to determine the best placement for your kid. Remember, these placements are just recommendations, and what I'm trying to do is give every student the appropriate amount of challenge and support so that they can be successful. So the first thing I look at is current academic performance along with test scores. If you fall into the transition level, that means there's some holes and gaps in your current knowledge. These classes are infused with high levels of support. They're double period classes. Currently, kids in this level are growing at an accelerated rate, and they're actually growing more than kids in our other levels. So we're doing what we intend to do. The intent here is to get them up to grade level and then wean them off of support. The college prep and honors levels are for your average kid, the middle 80%, and where they land there depends more on their prerequisite knowledge. And then finally the accelerate level, that's for the highly motivated, I love math, I want to do math all day, every day, please sign me up for the math team kid. They really do well in this level, they really thrive here. You're laughing because you live with one, aren't you? The second thing I look at is prerequisite skill. Because math is so cumulative and because we can't skip anything to be able to go to the next step, so I'm showing you here the horizontal placement. Kids being placed in prerequisites still have yet to master prerequisite skills, and we want them to have them solid and mastered so that they can be successful in algebra. Kids who have been recommended for algebra have mastered their pre-algebra skills. and still need to master algebra skills. If you've been recommended for one of the geometry courses, you are currently taking algebra and are doing well and are mastering those skills. If I've recommended you for an advanced algebra course, you are currently in a geometry course and doing well and have mastered those skills. So that's how the placements go. Any questions you have about your particular child, you can email or call me. We do have a summer bump-up program for kids who have the prerequisite class currently but still want to move up. It's a 1-credit, non-math credit-bearing course. It's a pass-fail course. If you get an 8% or higher in the course, you will get recommended to the next higher level. And this is that chart, which will also be online. And basically, you just read what course you were recommended for, what the summer bump-up course would look like, and then what your course would be as a freshman and the summer packet for that course. Finally, I'd like to give a plug to computer science. Computer science is everything. Coding is everything. And it's really important. All your kids will be asked to code somewhere in their professional life, and it's important that they start to get experiences here in the high school. So I recommended that all kids, we're actually trying to put coding into every math class, but outside of that, these are the classes we currently offer. We're looking to make that a more robust option. I will have more information on this at the open house on February 5th. Does anybody have any general questions? Thank you very much. It's my pleasure to introduce Ms. Krista McKee, our MTSS coordinator.
Hi everybody. I believe I'm the last one of the evening, so you made it. I might have the longest acronym as part of my title. MTSS stands for Multi-Tiered Systems of Support. On this PowerPoint is my website, which will give you a lot more information in detail about the supports we offer, as well as all this information about the support classes. The first thing I really wanted to get across is that all students at Oak Park can receive support. So there's a couple things I wanted to highlight for that. One is the tutoring center. The tutoring center is open from 7 until 5 p.m. and it offers tutoring in most all subject areas. But what I believe is the hidden gem of the tutoring center happens before and after school, which is the executive functions tutoring. That is where we have tutors who work with students around things like time management, material management. We open backpacks, we get out folders, we get out every single piece of paper, we put it away, we label things, and we organize. And then we make sure they stick to that system when they come back to us. We also look at planners, and we make sure they're not just writing down things like math, page 4. We teach them how to use a system. We look at Skyward and look at how to prioritize, set up a study plan, study skills, things like that. And again, it's offered daily. We do have students who come every day. I think they're doing it to keep their parents off their back, but you know what? It's working for them. So the other thing we have is our PSS teams. All students are assigned to a PSS team, which consists of a counselor, social worker, and dean. And they are there to provide support and guidance for all things high school and Oak Park. For the reading and math support classes that some of you might have been recommended for and some of you might be interested in, I wanted to talk about them a little bit. We use evidence-based interventions and assessments in all of our support classes. We look very carefully at your students and we look to see what we need to target to get that growth and accelerate their learning, because our goal really is college and career readiness for all students, at least by their junior year, if not sooner. So those classes do that very strategically. We do have an established entrance and exit criteria so that we know when your student might need more support, but we also want to know when they don't need that anymore and it's time to fade it away. So again, we're looking at that learning very carefully. And also we want to look to see if maybe they need more or something different. So we look at them again, your student individually on that progress. There must be something happening. I'm going to get run over by something. Okay. Well, that's all I have. So the good news is that we can be done before I get hit by a baseball, I think. anybody have any questions? Okay, good. You're scared of baseball as well, I think. Thank you very much for coming. Have a safe drive home and stay warm.